All right, so if you're watching this video, it's likely because I, at some point, showed you a Picross puzzle, whether that be intentionally or not. And I assume your reaction to seeing that is, what the hell are you doing? Because from an outside perspective, it kind of looks like a lot, and it is a lot. But today I'm going to kind of do a Picross puzzle. I'm going to explain my thought process and kind of explain just how I do them and why I like to do them so much. So, fair warning, this will be a little bit of a slower process because I'm going to be explaining my train of thought as I do it. Normally, this kind of is a lot more of a natural feel as you go kind of situation, but just for the sake of demonstrating how I do them, I'll be taking my time a little bit more. So I'm going to do this puzzle 131. This is Picross S4 on the Nintendo Switch. So if you don't know what a Picross is, Picross, or the non-licensed name being a nonogram, are puzzles in which you are trying to fill in squares in a grid to make a piece of art afterwards, usually. The dots that are filled in on the board are indicated by these hint numbers on the sides for the rows and at the top for columns. The groups of numbers represent how many spaces, like how many groups of filled in squares there are between two groups. For example, this column right here is 2, 1, 1, 3. So it looks like kind of something a little bit like this. So you have a group of 2, a group of 1, a group of 1, and then a group of 3. All the rest are filled in with blanks, or crosses, as you will. And the goal is to try and fill in the squares such that every hint column is satisfied. So you don't want groups of filled in squares that go over or under the number of dots here. So you might be thinking, well, where do you start here? The board is pretty blank, and there's a lot of small numbers here, and this is a 15 by 15 grid. Well, I tend to look for either big numbers or large groups of smaller numbers. The two that strike out to me at this very moment are the 8s at the top and bottom row right here. Whenever you're trying to fill in what section of a row gets filled in with a square, you try to do, I call it like the 4s backwards approach, where you try and think of the ideal case going forward through a row and then backwards. So for example, in ideal case, you would go, the first thing would be here, and then you would fill it out, and then boom, that's your 8 right there. And if you're going backwards, that ideal case would be starting from here, and then going to here, and then that's your 8, right? And in both cases, the 8 stops at this middle square right here. So no matter where this group of 8 filled in is in this top row, this square right here has to be filled in. So we can say that fills right here. And then that top 1 gets, this indicates the top 1 for the column. So we put an X right here to isolate that group of 1 in the column hint. We do the same thing for the bottom. This 8 has to have this common run right here, and then we fill in this blank spot to indicate the bottom 1 group. So you kind of like to start with that. A best case scenario for a puzzle is if it has a really juicy like number or group of numbers in the top or bottom row or the left and right column, because those give you the most amount of information, because you can directly take numbers from the hints and just fully fill in the rest of the things, but we're not lucky in this case, so we'll continue on. One that looks enticing to me is this column right here, the 1, 3, 2, 1, 2. So we're going to do something similar with what we did with the 8. So we'll have a 1, there has to be a blank space here to separate the 1 and the 3. Then the 3, another blank space, 2, another blank space, a 1, another blank space, and a 2. And we go back through, we can kind of see where the overlaps are. So a 1, 2, a space, 1, space, a 1, 2, space, 1, 2, 3, there's an overlap, we can fill that in, space 1. So nothing else in that group, unfortunately, and this doesn't give us enough information in this row to do anything with it, but we're off to a start. We're going to get very similar results in this column, so we'll do the same thing here. 2, 1, 2, 3, and then going back up. This one gets filled in, the rest will be the same. This row right here looks pretty juicy. You kind of want to look for like numbers that are larger than multiples of 5, especially when you're looking for groups of, you're looking for hints that have multiple numbers in them. So for example, this right here, this one looks kind of juicy. So I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then nothing else will be able to fill in. Unfortunately, that's not anything concrete, but again, it's gonna take a while for us to find anything that's like really good. This one here looks promising. We'll count this column right here. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ooh, that one's good. 1, 2, blank, 1, 2, blank, 1, blank, 1, blank, 1, blank, 1, 2. Ooh, that's a bunch of overlaps right there. I don't see any. Oh, there's a similar one right here. Maybe we can get similar results. 1, blank, 1, 2, 1, blank, 1, 2, blank, 1, blank, 1, blank, 1, blank, 1, 2. Nope, no overlap there. I guess I should explain why I say there's no overlap there, even though I'm not going over. So I counted up this hint column from the bottom, right? And what I was left with was these 2 dots here that show no overlap from the top. But because our smallest number is 2, that means there's going to be no overlap with any of the hint numbers. So unfortunately, that did not provide us any results like this one did. This is where Picross can get a little bit slow sometimes, because you're kind of just looking through. You just have to kind of choose a row or a column and hope that it gives you the results that you want. Oftentimes it will not, but let's take a look at this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Nope, that's nothing. You try this. Usually want to start looking with things that have blanks in them. Fortunately, that's not going to lead to any overlap there, but let's see, what else can there... Actually, no, that is not true. We can do something here. Because we know that there is a dot filled in here. There has to be some part of the 4 or the 1 that's in this, we'll call it the first section, that's separated by this blank right here. It's because I was going to say there is this thing right here. This shows that there's no overlap, but this configuration is actually impossible because of the existence of this dot right here. So what we want to do is actually want to start with the 4. You want to look over here to look for signs of overlap. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's an overlap right there. And that lets us look at, this is another big thing of when you start looking at Picross puzzles. So if you start from the bottom, you say 1, 2, 3. This has to be a part of the 3, because otherwise you can't make 3 if this is a blank, for example. You just can't make 3 at all. So this has to be part of the thing. This gives us a few more hints. For 1, I believe it lets us confirm that this is part of the 1. So 1, 2, 3, blank, 1, blank, 1. This carries over. This has to be a 1, because there's no way it can be a 2. So that is a 1. Another thing is that it confirms that this has to be a 1, because this is either the first one, and that means it's the second one, or this is the 2, and this is the first one. Either way, it confirms that this blank dot right here is a 1. That lets us look at this column again. That fills in our 2. That fills in this connecting pot for the whole 8. And that means that if we were to look over here, from that dot, 8 only goes so far to here, so these 2 are blanks. Finally, we can fill in this 3 right here for this column, which means that this part has to be all connected together for the 4. Looking at this column, the 4 is impossible in this part right here. Same for here. And that means our 8 grows down here a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That fills in the 1. That fills in the 2 in this column. and that clears this whole row as we've gotten both the 4 and the 1, everything else is blank. So that's why you want to look for stuff in the bottom, because you just easily fill out like the rows right above it. It's so quick. This 2 is impossible because there's a blank right here, so that's impossible. And that means this is also impossible with the 8. And if you go from there, 7, 8, that gives us more information about the 4, that gives more information about the 3, and that gives us the 2 that clears the beginning part of this row. What's next? This space cannot be filled in. If it's filled in, then this becomes impossible because then this becomes 2. But if this is 2, then it connects to this dot, making it 3. So it can't be in there at all. So that has to be blank. It doesn't give us that much information, but it's still something. Let's see. There's another big one. You want to usually look for, like, when you fill in this kind of stuff, you want to look for, like, big clusters of blanks that kind of... There doesn't seem to be any new huge reveals in this puzzle, but you know, there's nothing. We can probably take a look at this column again. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Wow, that's a complete column right there. Since we made it to the end of that column having filled in from the bottom, that means that filling it for the top would give us the exact same configuration, so this is the only possible configuration left. That lets us do a few things. That first lets us clear this row. That lets us connect the 8 at the top of this row, and if we were to drag this out here, that's 8, so this is impossible. These have to be blank. Then from the top row, this is the 1, this is the 1, this is the 1, and this is the 1. Finally, looking at this row right here, this has to be the second 2, which blocks off this one right here. And then this has to be the first 2, but the square can be filled in either on the left or the right, so we just get this much for information. But filling in this square right here means that we get our last little bit for the 8, and that clears the top row, giving us this 1, this 2, and our last bit for that 2, and that 1. You can kind of see here this kind of leads to a very quick like snowball effect as you start filling in more things. Oh, this is one of my favorite tricks to kind of show about. It's like something you pick up right here. So this dot right here, there's a lot of spaces here where this could either be 1 or 2. But an interesting thing is that this spot has to be blank, because if this spot is the 2, then it's impossible to fit the 1 in afterwards. So this spot has to be a blank. But we can't fill in this for sure because this could be blank too, and that this is the 1 right here. But anytime you have a situation where there is a 1 as the last number in a row or column, and you have a square filled in third from the last, you can put in a blank right afterwards because it would be impossible for there to be a square filled in there. Similar to before, this is impossible because if there were something here, then this would be 3 connected together for the 2. And that's all I'm seeing immediately, although this can be brought out a little bit more. 1, 2, blank, 1, 2, 3, blank, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives us this part of the 5 for overlap, but that also gives us this 3 as well. You can also fill in these as blanks because the 2 is left here and it could either be here or here, but nothing above that. Let's see. 1 blank, 1, 2. When you get to situations like this, you want to what prioritizes more is the thing that's actually there, right? So 1 blank, 1, 2. You would go into this for overlap, but because this is there, you want to consider it as part of this. So technically this would be the 2, and then blank, 1, 2, 3, this is overlap going down this way, so that's part of the 3. And that means that this is probably part of the 3 this way. Yes, but you can't blank anything. That's unfortunate. Let's see. This looks promising. So 1 blank, you can't fit in the 2, so the 2 goes in the next section. 1, 2, blank, 1, 2. I should use the marker. Blank, 1, 2, blank, 1, 2, 3, blank, 1. 1, blank, 1, 2, 3. There's a little bit of overlap there. That doesn't give us any more information, though. You can't do much from that. You might have gotten to the point of understanding Picross now where you're yelling at your screen because you see a thing that I can do that I don't. And if you see that, I encourage you to play this game. It is really fun, and if you're starting to already see the patterns that give you the hints, that means that you have a brain that is able to like do these puzzles more subconsciously. I often find that this is a game of Zen for me, although a game of Zen is not necessarily a game that I can do while talking, as this may be very apparent by now. Let's check here. No overlap, that's unfortunate. Nothing there. 1, blank, 1, 2, 3. Nope. 1, 2, blank, 1, blank, 1, blank, 1. Yeah, nothing there. Apologies for the clearing of the throat, but I have been talking a lot. 1, 2, blank, 1, 2. 1, 2, blank, 1, 2. There we go. So there's some overlap in this section, which actually I'll do it so you can see. So there's 1, can't fit into 2 there. 1, 2, blank, 1, 2. Going back up, 1, 2, blank, 1, 2, blank, and then the 1 has to be here, but it doesn't overlap with one of these 2 spots. That fills the blank in here as we found our 2 here. We found our 3 here, but that unfortunately doesn't really get us anything more. This group actually here, that's deceptively easy because you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this, and this all have to be in that spot. Whereas these last 2 ones can be in different configurations down here. That gives us the 2 for this row, as well as the 2 for this column. It gives us the 1 for this row and the 1 for this column. And the 2 for this row, and we can fill in this in a blank because the 2 can't fit there. It gives us the 1 for this column, and it gives us 2 more blanks in this column. That, unfortunately, I think is the end of it, but it is more progress. Then let's see here. Blank, 1, 2, no, there's nothing new there. Oh, here's something. So this is impossible because of what I was saying earlier. If this was filled in, then this would have to be 3, and that doesn't work. So we get 1, 2, blank, 1, 2. Oh, that's very good, because there can't be more than 1, 2 in this section on the left here. So the 2 2s have to be right there. We get that same principle I was talking about before. This has to be blank, because if this is not blank, then it's impossible to fit the 1 in. As well as that gives us the 3 here. So we can fill in the blank on this side, as well as the blank between the 3 and the 2. And that fills this blank because you can't fit the 2 in there. You get this blank, because that's the 1. This blank in this column for the 2. This blank in this column for 1. And then that doesn't let you fill that in. That's unfortunate. I feel like there's some more stuff here. I'm just not seeing it. Oh, classic one right here. 1, blank, 1, 2, that's something, and that is a huge one because that fills in so many different blanks. These 2 are separated enough where this has to be part of the 3, so these 2 on the left and these 2 on the right can be filled in as squares, but everything else has to be a blank because this is the 1. Right here. That lets us fill in this spot right here because it's possible for the 4s to go here for the column. That fills in this spot because it's possible for the 3, and this spot for possible for the 2, which fills in this and these 2, as well as putting a blank here. That's a blank for this 2 right here, and a blank for this 1 in both of the columns. That also fills in this 2, as this becomes 1 blank, 1 blank, 1, 2. We indicate the last 2 in this row has to be filled in. Put an X in here, put an X in here. The remaining 3 has to fill in to the left. So this gets put in a blank, and that leaves the last spot for the 1 in this column. We can fill in the bottom of this for the 2, because this can't be a filled in square, which leaves us the only configuration left for the 2 1s in this row. So that's 1 blank 1. And that gives us our final configuration for this column as well. This has to be a blank, because otherwise this would be 3. And then this has to be 2, and everything else is filled in with a blank. Going to this row right here, this is part of the 3, and this is the only space left for the 1. This gets filled in with a blank as this column is filled in. We go to this row, this is part of the 3, and then we add a blank there. This is part of the 2 in this column, so that gets a blank there. Fill in this 2, and that completes the whole column. Fill in a square right here for the 3 in this row, and that leaves a blank right there. And then we put a blank right here, because for the part of the 5, and so that becomes a new overlap for this remaining section. Then we get this part right here in this column, 1, 2, 3, 4, for more overlap. As I should explain this a little bit more, because I've been doing it, but I haven't really been explaining it well. You have to, when you're doing this from above, you have to be considering that you have to make it to this square right here. So if you're unable to make it to this square, then it's impossible for things to be here, right? Like, if you're too far away and you fill in everything else, then you have a 5. So you have to automatically fill in blanks where it'd be impossible to even get to this bottom filled in square right here. And then from here, if you do the overlap method, 1, 2, 3, 4, it leaves in those 2, like such. Filling those 2 in gives us this 3 right here. And then once again, you do the overlap method. So it's impossible for this base to be filled in. And then you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the overlap. This has to be blank to separate the 2. This has to be filled in for the 1. And because this has to be filled in for the 2, that completes this column. That completes this column. And that leaves one space that has to be filled in for the 1 in this column. That lets you fill in this spot right here for the 2 in this row, and lets you fill in the blank right afterwards. And filling in that blank in this column leads to filling in this square right here. Now you can kind of see, this is where the snowball effect kind of begins to build in. I'm just going to kind of go through a lot of this stuff more quickly. But as you can kind of see, stuff is getting done quicker and quicker now that less and less hints are available, and the more restricted places kind of become in. And in this game, you don't have to fill in every single square. You don't have to mark every square as filled in or blank. You just have to fill in the squares that need to be filled in. But just for the sake of posterity, that would be the last blank. And the last spot right here is this. Now, they always come out as a picture. I'm really bad at guessing what the picture is. I mean, that's a kite? No, that's a bird. Alright, well, this video was longer than I thought it was going to be. I normally do not take 23 minutes on a puzzle. As you can see here, Mangoes only took me 6. And a moth took 5, but it really depends on the difference of like how many, the cluster of numbers available. It kind of determines, like, it's kind of the early game really determines how long a puzzle will take for me. But yeah, if you're still watching at this point, thank you. I probably sent this video to you personally, but you may have just found it. But please give Picross a try. I think at least some of the Picross games have demos on the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 systems. There's also plenty of the Picross games available on 3DS. There's also, just looking up nonograms, you can find ones that you can do on websites. They're easily accessible. If this even interested you a little bit, it probably didn't, but if it did, I would recommend trying it out and learning the basics for yourself, because as much as I was trying to explain my thought process, I have been doing these a lot and over the course of several years. So a lot of this knowledge is kind of secondhand to me now at this point. But you wouldn't want to watch me do a puzzle in the quiet by myself. So, yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Check out Picross.